So, Craig, you're running for mayor, but who are you?
I am a grassroots person. That's what I am. I'm an engineer by trade. That's what I learned. So, and you could say it's in my blood. My dad was. My brother is. Fixing things was what my family did, and I grew up around doing that. So I became by accident, I suppose, an engineer, and that taught me a lot about life. It taught me about, in fact, it was my dad who said to me, if you're in any engineering or trade, you can do anything for the rest of your life.
Okay, so why are you standing?
I'm standing because a catchphrase could be enough is enough. I'm just tired of plugging away at my regular life, bringing up a family in Auckland, and seeing the things that I don't like being done. And so a few of my buddies and I, must have been chatting, I can't remember, it must have been a barbecue or something, about some of the things we didn't like that we saw. It was one of those political conversations that pop up now and then. And they said to me, geez, you'd be good at doing that job. Why don't you run for mayor one day? And I'm like, yeah, whatever, guys. And it just snowballed. And it became, once we actually thought about it and thought, actually, yes, I could do this. This is actually what I'm good at, because I can bring my engineering background into it, and I can bring my life skills into it. And the fact that I'm grassroots, I'm one of the normal, regular people. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a CEO of a company. I'm a normal person that understands what normal people want.
So can you be specific about some of the things that you felt you didn't like about the council?
Yeah, quite easily. The spending is a big one. We didn't like the way we were chatting about them. We were just listing off, and it'd be difficult for me now to list them off exactly verbatim, but we were listing off all sorts of things that we're spending. And one of the ones that popped up, I don't know if it was at our first barbecue chat one day or a further one, was the mirror on O'Connell Street. Spending over $200,000 on a mirror to install above a street that then broke and had to be fixed. And we nutted off over this. We thought, this is just insane money. And immediately my engineering brain came in, and I read an article that said the artist was only charging something like $70,000 or $80,000. And I went, okay, so somewhere there is another $150,000 being spent on consultants and engineers to decide how to hang a mirror. I could walk down that street and say, 4 12mm Dynabolts, some stainless steel wire, it's up. We can probably do that for $500 plus the health and safety side. Where did $150,000 come from? It's that kind of thing. If you add them all up together around the place, that was grating on me and on my buddies. That's what we want to try and solve. We want to get to the bottom of how that sort of thing happens. How does it happen?
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But a lot of people might say, the counterpoint would be, well, what about the big picture things? Because these are a lot of little things, but people who are lawyers and chief executives have that experience to look big picture and think governance. So what do you think
It comes down to that really old saying I was taught when I first started my trade. Look after the pennies, the pounds take care of themselves. And it's still true today, except now it's cents and dollars. You look after the little things, all the tiny little things, the bigger things take care of themselves, and they do. So if you can manage little things like that and find out where things like that went wrong, there's no reason why you can't find out the same thing with bigger items, bigger ticket items that have gone wrong, and try and work them out. Fault find them, fix them, come up with solutions.
So what have you got on offer for business? Do you have any policy or anything that our readers would be interested in?
No. See, I'm not running with policy. And it's very intriguing.
That's very risky.
Yeah, and a lot of people have gone, actually, once they've understood what I'm saying, they go, you're onto this. Because having policy is central government party. They are the people that should have policies to how they're going to run things. A mayor is a spokesperson. He is a front person. Whenever there's a problem or something goes wrong, who do the media go to? The mayor. They want to talk to the mayor. The mayor is a leadership role. It is not a dictatorship. As soon as you bring in policies, you're becoming a dictator. You're saying, right, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that.
So you don't have a position, because people want to know what you think about Ports of Auckland. People will want to know what you think of Eden Park.
Yeah, that's fine, but that's not a policy. That's just an opinion and a want, if I've got them. Mm-hmm. And as a mayor, you should be listening to what the people want, not what I want. I shouldn't be coming in saying, right, I'm going to move the Ports of Auckland to Whangarei. Mm-hmm. Well, hang on a second. I'm the mayor. I'm not a dictator.
Well,
I've got 20 other councillors who have a choice.
Your policy will be based on sound advice or sound research.
Leadership. not policies. See, I would absolutely love to have a waste-to-energy plant built in Auckland. Now, whether Auckland City can afford it, probably not, or whether a privateer comes in and builds it, probably. That's a dream, not a policy. I've still got to take that to council, take it to the people. It's not me coming in saying, I'm going to do this. This is my policy. I'm going to have a sort out the refuse problem.
Are you sure you're just trying to not make promises you can't deliver? Because that's...
No, I'm trying to make sure I'm not a dictator. Because that's one of the things that I despise about the way it's happening at the moment. What I see from the outside, and so does everyone else looking in, they see dictators. They see candidates in the past and in the present saying, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. Well, hang on a second. What about your 20 other councillors? Don't they have a say? And what about their people? Don't they have a say? The mayor should not come in with dictatorship policies.
Okay, well, speaking of councillors, are there some in particular that you've worked with, that you'd be running with or anything like that?
Not that I've ever worked with because I'm fresh into this whole system, but there are councillors there that I've watched and I've followed, and I do love their approach, the way they communicate, the way they attack certain things. I really like.
Can you name them?
Yeah, I like Wayne Walker. And I do like John Watson. I find they have stood up for the little person a lot lately. In the last 6 months, I've been watching them do that. It was great. Really, really good. One of the ones I was very angry with was Penny Hulse in the last meeting. She did some bad things. But look, she's not running again, so it's irrelevant. But here's the interesting thing. A few people have said to me, well, why aren't you aligning with certain councillors? They're not guaranteed to win their place back. So, and that's my whole thing about this. There is 21 people who don't know who's going to be that 21 until they get there.
But the idea of aligning with certain councillors, I guess it would give the people, I mean, you're a newcomer, people want to know what you're about. If you align yourself with people, then they might get an idea of which direction you're heading. And I guess in that respect, would you say you're left or right leaning? Do you align yourself with any political party?
I would say I'm a centre-right person, very much so. I believe in working for a living. It's what I did. I don't believe in handouts. I think unless you are desperately in need for a handout, so that puts me centre-right. If you need help, the human society will give you help, but I don't like the people who just want it for the sake of it. So,
and have you talked to the National Party?
No, I don't want to. I want to stay independent. I want to be my own person. I think that is good for local body politics to be like that. And I certainly believe, and I do believe that not necessarily aligning myself with particular candidates in the councillors over the next couple of months is probably good for me, and people will see that. Once they actually start to research me and look at my website and look at my social media, they'll go, I understand where he's coming from. And once they do that, fingers crossed, I suppose.
Yeah, so how are you going to convince people to take you seriously? Because there are...
Being honest.
Yeah.
Being genuine. Now, the feedback I've had since, I built a simple little website that says everything about me and what I stand for. And when people come to social media and they've asked me, what are your policies, what do you stand for? I send them to the website. The feedback is brilliant, and it's really... It's put an enormous amount of confidence in what I'm doing, because when I get that, I get private messages from people saying, wonderful, we get what you're saying, thank you, it's about time. And that's what I'm getting a lot of, and I think it's going to grow. I hope it will grow. It will grow, that sort of feeling, because when I say I'm grassroots, I am grassroots. I'm one of the people that's lived in a suburb, has dealt with the traffic, has dealt with all the problems of living in a big city, and punched my way through it. I know exactly what everyone else is going through. I haven't been a career politician. I haven't been sitting in a lawyer's office for 20 years and then decided to go into politics. I'm one of the real people. I'm one of the genuine grassroots Aucklanders. I
get that that's how you're selling yourself, but you are going up against those very experienced politicians. Last question, how do you rate your chances, really? Really good. Genuinely good. The problem, it's good and bad. The problem with democracy in any world country that has democracy system of voting is there is the protest vote. It's a sad thing, isn't it, when people will actually vote to keep people out rather than bring someone in. I know there's going to be a lot of that going on. Always happens every election. So I'm going to pick up a lot of protest vote. I'm comfortable with that. I'd rather they voted for me because they want me, and I'm pretty sure they will. So people will see who I am, and they'll see me for a genuine, honest, grassroots person who's worked. He's an engineer. I've got a trade. I've raised a family, and I'm now going to do something to help people with the help that I wanted. I think that'll help. That'll work. People will see it. They won't see a long-term politician
and go, oh, well, he doesn't have any experience, what they'll see is, hey, this guy's us. He's one of us, and he knows, and he's thinking like us. He knows what he wants. He wants what we want. He's got the vote. I reckon it'll work.
Great. Thanks for coming in, Craig.
You're most welcome.